Welcome to the 2014 American Quarter Horse Association Racing Champions Awards. Live from Heritage Place in Oklahoma City, here's your host, Chris Kotulak.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2014 AQHA Champions Awards show. It was the summer of last year that Ben Hudson, the editor-owner of Track Magazine, decided he wanted to start referring to me as Lucky Kotulak for good reason. And I think he's right on target with that. I'm going to stick with it, Ben, and I am lucky to be here this evening. There have been a number of individuals that have been in this same spot behind the podium in years previous that have done a fine job, but I'm just flattered to be here representing the AQHA and representing the horsemen as well, as we will find out who the champions are throughout the course of the evening. I have been at Remington Park for going on 4 years, and typically Dale Day is the one that pitches it down to me, but as he is the track announcer and director of PR at Remington Park across town, I will throw it over to Dale tonight to help out with the proceedings.
Thank you very much, Chris. I am Dale Day. I've been at Remington Park for a little longer than 4 years now, which is a good thing. And welcome everyone to the AQHA Awards ceremony tonight. Good luck to all of you. You're all winners for already being here. Hopefully some of you will take home the hardware. A couple of notes. The hardware you do see is properly bronzed and properly inflated to regulation levels. Nothing has been tinkered with since it's been passed to the ceremony stage from the American Quarter Horse Association. Another couple of rules to remember. When you come up to accept your awards, some of you will speak with me. That's a good thing as well. This is my microphone. You cannot take it from me. I will share it with you, but I will hold on to it. At least that's my master plan. Also, I did not vote in any of the categories tonight, and neither did Chris Kotulak. So please don't shoot the messenger, me, and the first messenger, Chris Kotulak. Chris?
Thank you, Dale. His middle initial is D. I always assumed that stood for details. Maybe it's dictator, but at any rate, Dale has definitely lined you out as far as how things should happen here tonight. A couple more things that I will add to that, and that is that if you are fortunate enough to hear your name or your horse announced throughout the course of the evening, we do encourage you to, at that time, step up and make your way up here to the stage because you will be recognized, but we want to keep the evening flowing as smoothly and as quickly as we possibly can. And with that, we'll kind of help move streamlining throughout the course of tonight's show. Again, if you folks are just arriving from the back, please find your seat, make yourself comfortable. There are some programs you might grab on your way in, though the chairs are supposed to have their programs as well, and they probably do unless someone has helped themselves to it as well. So with that, I believe it is time to get started here. Without a question, 2014 has been a testing year in quarter horse racing. For some, it's been a little bit more testing than others, I guess, but we are working our way through that, and from what I've seen in meetings as of late, we are on a very good and strong course, and that's good to see. Now that you know the rules and what is forthcoming, let's get familiar again with the nominees and the ultimate champions here. But first, I want to ask the AQHA Second Vice President, Dr. Glenn Blodgett, to join us on stage. I do want to make mention that Dr. Glenn didn't come here by himself, and I want to identify who we have with us. We do have Dr. Glenn Blodgett and his wife, Karen of Guthrie, Texas. Of course, AQHA President Johnny Trotter and his wife, Jana from Hereford, Texas, are with us, and AQHA Executive Vice President Don Treadway Jr. and his wife, Amarillo. And I would say Amarillo definitely the place that they are from the AQHA headquarters. So we're happy that you have all of us with us here. I do want to mention a little bit more for the folks here that are maybe new to the award show. I want to kind of just lay down what is going to happen as far as how these horses got on the ballot in the first place. The champion ballots for each equine category are determined by a collection of criteria, and some automatically make the ballot based on their earnings or their wins. Others are nominated and voted onto the ballot by the AQHA Racing Committee. Members of the Champion Selection Subcommittee then review the finalists and cast their ballots to determine each division's champions. Ballots for breeder, owner, trainer, and jockey of the year consist of the top 10 individuals with the best overall placing, and these placings are determined by money earned, races won, and performance in graded stakes races. Winners are likewise chosen by the Champion Selection Committee. And hang on, we're almost done here. The 21 member subcommittee are elected by AQHA Racing Council and Racing Committee, 10 by one group and 11 by the other group. This is to ensure fairness. AQHA rules mandate geographic diversity among the subcommittee members. The individual voting results will be made public at the conclusion of tonight's ceremony, and that can be found on AQHA.com. And we want to welcome, of course, not only the folks that are here with us tonight at Heritage Place in Oklahoma City, where champions are sold, but we want to welcome everyone watching on the AQHA webcast live of the champions announcements. Let's get to it now. First category is the champion 2-year-old colt, and Dr. Glenn Bodgett, I think I've given him enough time to make it to the stage. Let's have a look at the contenders for the 2014 champion colt. First up, A Political Blood, owned by Rancho El Cabresto Incorporated. BF Farm Boss, he's a homebred of Don and Peggy Boyle out Oregon way. BV Traveling Soldier, closer to home, a homebred of Bella Vista Farms here in Oklahoma. Corona the Cat, World Champion Racing, San Gregorio Racing Stables Incorporated. I'm a Fancy PYC, owned by Dustin Cox. Dustin Cox famously said in the winner's circle at Remington Park when he won the stakes race, said, "I am not ashamed of my joy," and that was a lot of fun to see him down there. He brought the whole town with him into the winner's circle. Kiss My Hocks is owned by Tyler Graham and Akonda Mays. Louisiana Jam Belaya, Carter's Quarters LLC, Roderick and Michaelia Carter. Paint Me Perry, J&B Rental. PB El CIRUJANO, owned by Luis Miguel Alboris Gleason. And finally, Zucardi, who's owned by Anna Marie Croson of Croson Racing, and Anna Marie Croson did the training as well. Now you know the contenders and the champion 2-year-old colt. He had a season as shiny as his coat, and it is Kiss My Hocks, the champion 2-year-old colt. And he won a number of races this year, and we're going to start off by showing you his win right off the bat here in the Ruidoso Futurity. We'd like to have the connections come forward.
And in, all set for the Grade 1, $700,000 Ruidoso Futurity. They're running, stumbling at the start. JM Famous Master bumping at the start. Mad Max and Penthouse Suite and Kiss My Hocks came away fast. Kiss My Hocks in front of Bodacious Eagle. Followed up the outside by JM Miracle coming on. Kiss My Hocks making it look easy. JM Miracle charging. Kiss My Hocks. An easy winner from JM Miracle. And then a photo for third and fourth. Kiss My Hocks, another Futurity win.
Sure enough, bred by the Elgin, Texas-based partnership of Tyler Graham and John Mayers. He raced for Graham in partnership with Conde Mays. Kiss My Hocks blazed through 6 of 7 seasons that included victories in this race, along with the Sam Houston Futurity. Keep in mind, he was a track record breaker at 330 yards, owned by the aforementioned Conde Mays and Tyler Graham, trained by Toby Keaton. Cody Jensen and Luis Vivanco were his winning riders. His pedigree, Kiss My Hocks, by Tempting Dash out of the Trace Ace mare, Romancing Mary. Dale?
Tyler or Conde, who's coming over here? Congratulations. First of all, stellar season, 6 of 7 victories, almost picked off 3 Futurities. And the one you didn't get was still a thriller. You almost got there after a slower beginning. Talk about the year and what it means to you to win this award.
Well, it's just what everybody dreams of. You know, this is what we're doing it for, especially having the opportunity to raise the horse too. You know, that just makes it a little more special. But, I mean, we couldn't have had a better year. We have nothing to complain about, and we got a great horse to go into next year, so we're just thrilled to death and blessed.
Any one moment stand out above the rest? You had a track record in the mix also in a trial at Sam Houston.
Yeah, the track record was unbelievable. They were all great. You know, I don't know, the Ruidoso win was pretty big, but yeah, probably to set a track record his first out, that shocked us pretty good when they flashed that time up there for a 2-year-old especially.
When you set track record your first out, Chris, you usually know you have something. So Kiss My Hocks, a champion to start things off tonight. Congratulations.
Congratulations. From the champion 2-year-old colt division, we're going to move on to champion 2-year-old filly, and that's the contenders that we will look to. First off is Eagle on the Fly, bred in Texas. She is bred by Christine Hudson and owned by Martin Ibarra Jr. Embrujo Star, owned by Hubert Vestal. Girl on the Go is owned by Jimmy Negrete and Jimmy Vasquez. Gold Digging Ashley, bred in Oklahoma and a homebred of Dr. Edward D. Leslie. Gray Days, who's owned by Trey Malachek and Ben Butler. Jess Walking Through, whose owners are Gary and Linda Gordon, and also Ross Roark. Also, Love the Way You Lie. Copper Spring Racing, the owners of Love the Way You Lie. Love Supreme, owned by World Champion Racing Stables, San Gregorio Racing Stables, C-Cobb, San Gregorio Racing Stables are the owner line there. Old Girl is another of the contenders, owned by Jose Arturo Flores. And finally, One Apolitical Flight, owned by Rancho El Cabresto Incorporated. And the champion 2-year-old filly, she's a walk-through fire filly, and her name is Jess Walking Through. There she is. And have a look at what she did out there on the racetrack, the solid filly Jess Walking Through.
They're off in the 17th, Dash for Cash for Charity. Corona Kelly began well, so did Great Grace. Rattle and Battle towards the outside, then Jess Toast Winner now surging. Here comes Jess Toast Winner between horses. Rattle and Battle, Separate Dynasty on the far outside. Rattle and Battle, Separate Dynasty, Rattle and Battle, Rattle and Battle to win the Dash for Cash for Charity.
Winner by disqualification is Jess Walking Through. She was also third in the Grade 1 Los Alamitos $2 million futurity. Jess Walking Through is owned by Gary and Linda Gordon and Ross Roark of Roanoke, Texas. Was bred by Lance Robinson and Max Anderson of Spanish Fork. That's of Utah, of course. Also trained by Mike Robbins and ridden by Jose Alvarez. Sired by Walk Through Fire out of the Mr. Jess Perry mare, Jess Sassme, Jess Walking Through. And we have one of your connections step up to Dale, whoever's brave enough.
Linda Gordon has been volunteered.
There, way to go, Dale.
Congratulations, Linda. Your runner mostly prefers to come from the back, not quick starting normally, but rolls on late. What's it like to have to go through that excitement, race after race after race? Sometimes she gets there, sometimes she just misses, but she always gives you a thrill.
It's pure exciting. I mean, it's fun. It's exciting. It's new for us, so the thrill is nothing like I've ever felt.
Well, and she almost got there for you in the Dash for Cash futurity, later elevated to the victory. What were your thoughts and your team's thoughts when you found out that news?
Pure excitement and just a thrill beyond anything we could ever imagine.
Linda Gordon, Just Walking Through, 2-year-old filly champion.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And we'll work our way into the 2-year-old gelding contenders. We do have 10, of course, for that division as well. And we'll begin with Bodacious Eagle. Bodacious Eagle, owned by AQHA President Johnny Trotter. Game, by Game Patriot, owned by Joseph Boyd Landreneau. Hemp's Jumpin' La Jolla. He's owned by Miguel Rodriguez. He's a Dash of Fire, owner S_K LLC. Jessa Fast Dasher, Tony Dowdy is the owner of Jessa Fast Dasher. JLS Dashin and Zoomin, the owners are J and Y Racing and Jose Guzman. Also JM Miracle, owners J&M Racing and Farm. Mad About the Moon, David Valdez owns Mad About the Moon. Sam Crow, owned by Terry Baber. And finally Torts on Fire, owned by Terry and Irene Stennett. And despite falling short of the Los Al Cash Bonanza, the champion 2-year-old gelding is He's a Dash of Fire. And part of those Bonanza races, of course, included the Ed Burke Futurity, the first leg of the Los Al Cash Bonanza. And let's have a look at He's a Dash of Fire out in the racetrack.
And away they go on the Ed Burke Million Futurity, and He's a Dash of Fire. Love Supreme came away well to the extreme outside. Comes One Apolitical Flight. Apolitical Blood's also trying to close in, but it's He's a Dash of Fire full of run for it. Cruz Mendez, and He's a Dash of Fire is a true superstar. He absolutely annihilates him, almost 2 lengths in front.
A big win there, and of course he just continued to win. He earned just shy of $1 million. Ed Burke Million Futurity, and of course the Golden State Million Futurity as well. He was saddled by his trainers Jose Flores and Lindolfo Diaz and ridden throughout the year by jockey Cruz Mendez. He's a Dash of Fire is by Walk Through Fire out of the Mr. Jess Perry mare, Dash of Freda. And Dale, the connections weren't certain exactly how to come up to the stage, but they were definitely very clear how to get to the winner's circle at Los Alamitos.
They did that a few times. Linda Manili is going to speak, step right on the pink line. There is a pink line up here, folks. If you would step to it, that helps us out for camera purposes. If it was just us, we'd sit down and talk and not worry about cameras, but it's not just us. Congratulations on the victory. Your thoughts on the season, and you had a lot of big wins. You almost swept everything out at Los Alamitos.
We were thrilled, absolutely thrilled. He gave us more excitement and good times than probably we deserve. So it was fabulous. He's our champion.
Now, had you won the $2 million, the last race, you would have won the Los Al Cash Bonanza for $1 million bonus. He gave you more than you deserved, but would you have taken that as well?
Oh, wouldn't I loved it? Yes, I would have loved to have that, but, you know, you can't have everything. We got next year. You know, we'll come back, and he checked out really good, and he's on vacation, and when he comes back, we hope for bigger and better things next year.
Looking forward to a very big 3-year-old year. Here's a dash of fire. Congratulations.
Congratulations there. You might have thought that chariot racing ended after the ticket prices got too much at the Roman Colosseum eons ago, but in fact, chariot racing is alive and well in the Intermountain region, and the title of World Chariot Champion goes to the winning team at the World Chariot Championships, which are conducted annually at the Golden Spike Event Center in Ogden, Utah. The 2014 AQHA World Chariot Championship team is Flying T and Cajun and the Sandberg families, and there they are making their way down the racetrack. Unfortunately, we don't have any video to show, but if the connections would please move forward, we'd sure appreciate it. Of course, there are two that come in the team, and that pair would be an Ocean Runner and Spur and Dirty. So any connections from the chariot team, please step forward. We'd sure love to have a chat with you and have someone pick up your trophy as well. The team horses Ocean Runner by Ocean Runaway out of AB What a Runner, how about that? And Spur and Dirty feature Mr. Jess out of Dash to Shivato mare, Shivato's Secret. And I get the indication that we don't have any representatives at this time, so we'll make sure that we get the trophy sent off to the right address up there in Utah. Congratulations again to Flying T. Cajun and the Sandberg families, the champion chariot team. Also want to thank Dr. Blodgett for coming up and helping out. Dr. Blodgett will be back shortly as his obligations will continue here in the show. We'll now ask AQHA Presiding President Johnny Trotter to join us for the next set of awards. And as Johnny comes forward, just to remind you that each year AQHA professional horsemen are selected to participate in a program that's called Team Wrangler. You might have heard of it for years, where racing trainers and jockeys compete for the title Team Wrangler Top Racing Professional. And the selection is based on money earned during the Team Wrangler season, whatever season that might be. And the contestants are not only required to do well in their division, but they're required to uphold a certain professional standard defined by Wrangler and AQHA. And I do think that is an important element anytime that you're to win an award. Both organizations are happy to announce that this year's Team Wrangler, or the 2004 Team Wrangler Professional, the champion professional, is jockey Cody Jensen. Cody, come on up. Team Wrangler season runs from September through August of the next year. In the most recent Team Wrangler season, Cody's mounts earned over $2 million. And as part of its commitment to the breed, Wrangler makes a $20,000 contribution to the American Quarter Horse Foundation on behalf of each winning team. And I do think that that is significant. Wrangler joined AQHA as a corporate sponsor back in 1989. Cody gets his picture taken with AQHA President Johnny Trotter. He gets a custom belt buckle by Montana Silversmith, $2,500, and he gets a visit with Dale Day.
Cody, congratulations. You look a little different. You grew a beard. You're auditioning for a role in any shows coming up, or?
I'm going incognito.
Okay.
Nobody knows me, you know.
Well, and not wearing a helmet, people, you can get away with incognito a little bit more that way. Congratulations. Talk about what this award means for Team Wrangler, for you especially.
You know what? I'm really proud that Wrangler, being such a cowboy brand, is able to come into our industry of the AQHA. You know, a lot of people don't associate us being with real true horsemen and being the cowboy brand. But us as quarter horse guys, we're quarter horse guys through and through, even though we race versus some of the other aspects of the quarter horse industry. So I'm really proud to be associated with Wrangler and such an iconic brand. And be part of the cowboy heritage.
Well, congratulations on earning the award for Team Wrangler Professional and for having a good year last year as well. But congratulations on this. Very nice hardware to go with a nice beard and a nice look tonight.
Thank you very much.
I'm just glad he's going incognito, not going in commando, but who knows? Check underneath that buckle. Okay, all right, let's get back to some more of the equine divisional champions, and we're going to go to the AQHA distance champion contenders. They include Corona's Boy, owned by Victor Diaz, Droppin' Timber, who's owned by Frank Greenhaw, Executive Trust, Cherie Meredith is the owner of Executive Trust, Keeping It Cool is owned by David Lee Vance, and our final contender in the AQHA distance champion is WAHOO, who is owned by Bobby Cox. Now, before I identify or actually tell you who the actual winner is, I need a prop to help me out with. I need a Western hat, sir. Can I borrow your hat for just a second? I promise you I won't step on it or do anything to it, commando or otherwise. Thank you. All right. Some of you are a little too young to remember this. Most of you are not. Of course, you can watch films on Netflix. But when I think of the winner of this division, I think of Slim Pickens back in 1962 when he was in that payload of that plane in Dr. Strangelove, and they opened it up, and he was on a missile, and that missile dropped down, and he said, "Wahoo! Wahoo!" So with the connections of Wahoo, come on up here, please. Here's your hat, sir. Thank you, sir. God bless Slim Pickens. All right. Do we have anybody coming up? Anybody coming up after that? Thank Lord. Okay, Wahoo, he's a homebred
for the stretch in the Red Cell Remington Park Distance Challenge. Mixed fancy there by length and a half. Wahoo now being asked at the rail second and gaining ground. Call Her Hero, SRD Bob to pass Samoki is fifth. In the final furlong, Mixed fancy trying to hold off Wahoo, who continues to make up ground at the rail, and Wahoo scoots through to the inside. Wahoo takes the Red Cell Remington Park Distance Challenge over Mixed Fantasy. Call Her Hero distant third.
There you go, however you slice it, Wahoo. A multiple stakes winner, and he won across, whether it was here at Remington Park or he won the Grade 3 Pauls Valley. The Master Saws Handicap also finished third in the Remington Park Distance Championship. Wahoo was trained by John Buchanan, ridden by Russell Hadley. He earned over $84,000 last year, and Wahoo is a feature Mr. Jess out of our First Down Dash Mare, first to celebrate.
Wahoo, one of those many horses that couldn't quite get it done on the straight at 400 or 440 yards, but magically you put on the turn and they just take off. Tell us about Wahoo. He's been doing very well for the last 2 years.
It looked like the older he got, the better he liked the distance. And after Chris, I don't think I can beat that Wahoo.
How did you come up with the name? Where did the name come from?
Wahoo.
That simple?
Yeah, that's simple.
Not from any movie or TV show or a Mountain Dew commercial or anything like that?
Just Wahoo.
That'll work. Now, fairly consistent, usually in the money, wins more often than not. Really had a nice season last year. Didn't really end very well. The Challenge Championship race at Prairie Meadows, a troubled traffic trip, to say the least.
Right. If he just got away a little cleaner, been off the rail just a little bit, he'd probably done all right and won that race.
Prospects for this year?
He's taking a vacation with another distance champion called Run and Pray, and but he'll be back this spring.
We're looking forward to it. Hopefully we'll see him at Remington Park again, where he's done very well, and we love to call that name down the stretch. Preferably a few links in the clear. It's a lot easier for that announcer to spell out that name and scream it.
When you're taking care of business for Bobby Cox, you say, "Wahoo!" a whole bunch, don't you? Nice job, gentlemen. Okay, we've talked about some horses that have raced right here in the United States. Of course, the American Quarter Horse does reach beyond America, at least the United States aspect of North America, and not only in the show division, but naturally with racing, which is why we are here. We are going to recognize the South American winner, and the next award goes to the horse that won the Bank of America Racing Challenge in South America. That's how it is. It's just that simple. And if you win that race, you've got to be something special. And that horse was Jake Gold, BR, who did win down in Brazil.
Sobre start tem autorização para o larga. Vamos acompanhar. Tá na partida para o Challenge 2014. Aqui por dentro nós temos Jack Gold pela baliza 3, More Granite, Itália Gold pela 4, Ninja Dash pela 5. A disputa vai ser espetacular. Lá por dentro Gunna Stone. vão se aproximando. Aqui por dentro, Jack Gold. Pelo meio de raia, nós temos mais um competidor. Chegada espetacular, Jack Gold.
I heard spectacular a couple of times there, and that's for sure. Of course, he was bred by the late Johnny Samaya, and that pedigree line is so strong from Mr. Samaya and his breeding. Jake Gold BR is owned by Colorado Miranda in Brazil. The stallion was trained by a couple of trainers, Artemin, and ridden by M. Praxides in the United States. Paul Jones took over training, and he did well here in the United States as well, winning a pair of stakes races as well. He was ridden by Oscar Piñato, Omar Reyes, and Cesar de Alba. Jake Gold BR by gold medal Jess out of the Blazing Bryan mare, Charlotte Bryan. Vince Janko, another reason to smile and call the boys back in Brazil. Of course, they're probably watching online.
Vince Janko, great ambassador for the South American racing. Tell us what you can about Jake's Gold BR. Won that race we just saw on video from South America, then brought to the United States, and the plan was to have success here. That plan came through at the end of the year.
Yes, it did. We actually went to Iowa with the horse for the challenge finals, and he wasn't really at the top of his game, and he didn't do well back there. Brought him back to La Salle, and of course, Paul Jones has him as the trainer, and Paul worked with him a lot and got him back for an allowance race that he won easily, and then came back and won the Holiday Invitational. So we were pretty happy that he come back, and he's doing really well now. We're gonna put him in the winter championship and go on from there.
All right, so the plans to stay in the U.S. We don't know of any plans to go back to South America anytime soon.
Well, we'll see how he does. I mean, as long as he's running good like he's running, we'll probably leave him up here for a while and see what we can do.
South American champion Jake Gold BR. Congratulations. Vince Janko.
We'll stay down south, but not all the way down to a different hemisphere, just south of the border to Mexico, where we are going to recognize the Mexico winner. And it's not just winning one race. We have a number of contenders. Importantly, the horses that end up on this list as contenders must be foaled in Mexico and race primarily in Mexico as well. Okay, here we go. Chippa Dancer, owned by Felix Panuelos. Destacado Perry, owned by Homero Ertz Marin Lara. Firefly Horse, owned by Irely Diaz Flores. Kangaroo First, owned by Adelfo Toledano Montero. Lassie's First Prize, owned by Enrique Carrion. Loose Teller, owned by Quadra La Presita. NC Rose, Oscar Elio Bramlat Cruz. PBL CIRUJANO, owned by Luis Miguel Alboris Gleason. Cesaro, owned by Artemio Bastida Maya. And finally, Shiny Six, owned by Jose Antonio Juarez Hernandez. Where in the hell is John Smith? Anyway, must be a different category. Felicidades, you have all qualified, but the winner is PBL CIRUJANO, a winner of 5 races and earned over $158,000. In the United States. He raced exclusively at Hipódromo de las Americas in Mexico City. He won a pair of futurities, the Subasa Selective Futurity and the Criados Mexicanos Futurity, and we are going to see the connections up here on stage, and that is a great tribute to have the connections from Mexico come up here and receive the award.
Creadores mexicanos. Por el centro, PBL CIRUJANO, por dentro, Espejo Samurai. Entre ellos viene For All Native número 3. PBL CIRUJANO de amarillo empieza a imponerse, demostrando su gran clase. Está boqueteando a sus rivales. Gran demostración de PBL CIRUJANO. En el segundo queda Espejo Samurai. Tercero, For All Native. ¡Así llegan!
Felicidades! PBL CIRUJANO is owned by Luis Miguel Alboris Gleason of Miami and trained by Everardo Flores and Simon Hernandez. Congratulations, and thank you for coming to the United States here to Heritage Place.
Luis joining us now. You ended the season, ended the year very strong, 4 consecutive wins, back-to-back futurities. Your thoughts on wrapping up the year and this award tonight?
We're really thrilled and we're really happy, and I think he keeps getting better. He qualified for the four futurities and he won the last 2, so we're really happy, and I think this is not one horse, it's a teamwork, so there's a lot of people involved and we're really happy for them and we're really proud.
So a strong finish to a 2-year-old year, 3-year-old year coming up?
Yes, we remove a chip, a small chip in the left knee, but I think we will have him really right on track for the last of the season.
Any chances maybe towards the end of this year you might make a trip to the U.S. For a race?
We hope so. No, we'll see how things go.
Right. Do well in Mexico, then come on up.
Thank you very much.
Luis, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Chris.
And now we're going to work our way north of the border to Canada and look at the contenders. Pardon me, my pronunciation of Canadian names might not be that strong. First of all, the contender Arizona Benny is owned by Full Circle Racing. Next up, Cruisin' for a Bruisin', Barry and Janice Sather. Cruisin' the Arctic, owned by Bob and Gail Woodward. Isa Speedy Simon, owned by Full Circle Racing. Pegasus 1 Under Par, owned by Chill Valley Farm and Jay McCracken. Pros Rockstar, owned by Ferguson, Bird, and Nicklum. Reckless and Wild, owned by Gary and Marlene McNichol. Silken Memories, Joyce and Eric Letnin are the owners. Streakinshagginwagon, owned by GFR Equine Services. And What to Wear is owned by Renee K. Wilson. As a kid growing up, I had kind of a hippie neighbor that lived next to us, and he played in the band, and now I know what that thing was parked outside in front of the driveway. It was a Streakinshaggin' and he is the Canadian champion winner. Connections move forward. There we go. And we're going to have a look at the Peakov Derby.
They're at the post, and they're off. Away quickly towards the inside is Zip Code. Coming over in the center of the track is Ivory Engine, and there's bumping towards the rail. It's Silken Memories now trying to get home. Streakinshaggin' now coming on from the outside as they come down to the payoff. Streakinshaggin' wins the Peakoff Derby. Mr. Victory 6 second, and Silken Memories completes the triactor. Race 7 unofficial, 938.
Yeah, there we go, getting the triactor payoff in there. Why not? From Peakov Downs, which is just east of Toronto. He's owned by GFR Equine Services of Pontypool, Ontario. Streakinshaggin' trained by Jason Pascoe and was ridden by jockeys Mike Holmes, Tony Phillips, and Ed Walton. Bred by MC and Cindy Stucks of Edmond, Oklahoma. Streakinshaggin' out of Streakin' La Jolla, out of the Streakin' La Jolla mare, La Jolla's Fortune.
All right, Jason Pascoe joins me. Let's start with the name. The breeding's in the name. I can see that. I didn't see shaggin' anywhere in the breeding. Tell us how that got in there.
Actually, my fiance sent all the paperwork in and didn't tell me his name until the papers came back. So
There's got to be an Austin Powers thing in there somewhere, I would hope. Has raced in the United States, has had better success at Ajax Downs. Any chances back in the U.S. anytime soon?
Well, if the opportunity ever came, for sure, we'd love to.
All right, well, congratulations on the nice end of the season, the nice win in the Peakov Derby. Jason Pascoe, Streakinshaggin', baby.
By the way, that MC Stucks, that's Skip Stucks, and the M stands for Marvin. So you might ask him what the C is at that point. But congratulations, Marvin and Cindy Stucks there. Okay, we're going to take a little bit of a pause back away from identifying, recognizing the champion racehorses. Our next recognition is determined on, it's not determined on earnings and points alone, but by simple hard work on behalf of the American quarter horse racing industry. Each year, AQHA presents the Gordon Crone Special Achievement Award to a man who worked tirelessly throughout the year to advance the sport. Gordon Crone himself was a longtime racing horseman from Kansas. He worked tirelessly to promote the industry in his home state of Kansas and throughout the country. He was responsible for getting the AQHA Racing Challenge underway. The recipient of the 2014 Gordon Crowe AQHA Champion is Mr. Will Fish. Will has worked behind the scenes from the Florida Quarter Horse Racing Association, the FQHRA treasurer for 4 years. He's a retired CPA and professor of accounting, and all of that went forth in his benefiting Florida and the American Quarter Horse Association. His nominator said the FQHRA and hence American Quarter Horse Racing in Florida would not be the same without the efforts of Will Fish, and I think many second that. Please join us in congratulating and thanking Mr. Will Fish.
Congratulations, Will. First of all, now you have the same award that your son won a few years ago, so it's even, neck and neck.
Right. Now we got something, both bookends.
Tell us about the state of quarter horse racing in Florida and what's turned out to be one of your major passions in helping make things go there.
Well, first, Florida wouldn't have even been out of the starting gate if it hadn't been for American Quarter Horse Association, who not only put the talk, they walked the talk, they put money where their mouth was, and Trey Buck and a bunch of the other leadership, they came down there, got it started, and Lord knows the racing committee, they stood behind us all this time. Had a lot of lawsuits down there. The horses are doing good, but the lawyers are doing pretty good too. And they don't have anything invested. So that's been our biggest challenge is I know that Oklahoma, the patron straight is Will Rogers. He said that he'd never met a person he didn't like. Well, I've never met anyone from the American Quarter Horse Association I didn't like, but I have met a few of them outside the association that disqualifies me from the big universe of never meeting anybody.
Well, you've met quite a few that you like, and a few like you as well, at least, because you're the recipient of the Gordon Crone Award this year. Congratulations, Will Fish.
Thank you, Will. Straight shooter. We like that. We now return to our equine awards as we recognize the sport's newest dam of distinction. And we'll also relieve Mr. Trotter, Johnny Trotter, from his onstage duties, and we'll welcome our Executive Vice President, Don Treadway Jr., to come up and take control for a while. A little bit about the dam of distinction. It's bestowed on an American Quarter Horse mare that has made extraordinary contributions to the breed. And tonight we're going to recognize 3 of those mares, and we know you've heard of them before. First up, Dash Master Miss. She's owned by Gus Barakis of his Scarlet Hill farm down in Weatherford, Texas, bred by the AQHA past president in Mr. Jim Helzer. Next up is Just Jumpin'. Just Jumpin' is a cross of Chicks Beduino out of the Toltec mare Jumpin' Jack Flash. She's bred by John Andrini, who is a Gordon Crone winner himself. He won the award a few years back. On screen, you see a photo of one of Just Jumpin's progeny. That's her full Italia Gold, and winning as well. And finally, Viva Jean, who's owned by AQHA past president Jerry Wyndham of College Station, Texas, of course, Stoley's winner, one of the product of Viva Jean, one of the former all-time leading money earners of this AQHA racing sport. So congratulations to those connections of the dam of distinction. We'd like to have everyone come forward, please, if you did hear your name or your mare read of the 3 dams, Dash Master Miss. I know if Gus Barakis is here, I believe Jim and Marilyn are here as well. Just Jumpin', John Andrini, and Viva Jean connections, Jerry Wyndham, I believe, maybe Pat's along with. Yeah, they're making their way forward. We have a breeder that's here with us. He could come on and say, John Andrini, wherever John Andrini is. If you're sitting next to a guy that looked like he made his sport coat out of an old Etzel, that's John Andrini. Blue, plaid. Where is John? Bring him on up here. He's the breeder of Just Jumpin'. Here's the area. We'd wake our time, make his way down here and hang on for that photo. John's on his way. We got a morning cup of coffee brewing for you, John, as soon as you get down here. Well, we've got John Andrini coming again. I thought he was coming down. Yeah, come on ahead, John. I'll stand in front. No photos taken until John gets here. By the way, as this is going on, I want to give a special recognition to some folks that are really helping this show go, and Sarah Davison, fairly newbie to AQHA, and she's really taking care of this show, and I owe a lot to her with a lot of the research that she's done for me, Doug McElwraith and his TV crew as well. So congratulations. Thank you, Sarah and Doug as well. Sarah? That's the old Etzel still running, isn't it? Thank you, gentlemen. Job well done. Dams of distinction. Before we move on to our next age category, we have a special recognition award to present, and it has to do with dams or mares, brood mares. How about Runaway Wave, who became an American Quarter Horse Racing's all-time leading brood mare by her earnings through December 14th. The venerable old mare, Runaway Wave, by runaway winner out of the In the Curl Shelter Half line there. She takes the torch as the 2015 American Quarter Horse Hall of Fame inductee, Corona Chick. She's going to pass the torch from one terrific mare to the next. If the connections are with us here, Dan Lucas, of course, he's making his way. These are big numbers here. $3.6 million in excess from Runaway Wave's progeny, owned by Dan and Michelle Lucas, Lucas Racing Incorporated. It was bred by Dan and Allison Lucas. The Runaway Wave Award, or the award for Runaway Wave, the Dam of Distinction in 2005, Broodmare of the Year, and now the American Quarter Horse Racing's all-time leading broodmare. Congratulations, Dan. You can't do it without those mares. Okay, we've made through a variety of categories, both equine and human. We're going to go to the 3-year-old division right now. We're going to go to the colt division, of which we do have 10 contenders. 5 Bar Cartel is the first that we will cite, owned by San Gregorio Racing Stables Incorporated. Also, He's Relentless, owned by Hubbard, Maher, Cope, and Maher's son, William. Highest Fire, Alberto Valdez is the owner. Monty Dash, owned by Ponderosa Ranch and MCM Farms. One Valiant Hero, owned by Valeriano Racing Stables. And finally, Separate First Down, who's owned by Oscar Canelas and Isidro Flores. Our 3-year-old champion colt. Gentleman stopped by before this horse even made it to the races, and I said, well, you've got to have horse, and he said, you've got to have hope, and he's got it both. He's Relentless is the winner. There's that long striding colt. Let's have a look at him in action in the Hobbs American Derby.
Launches from the gate like a torpedo. Doc's first fire, Kingsbury off sharply. Ray on fire is charging into the fray, and they're followed by Pretty Little Liar. It's He's Relentless on the outside, Ray on fire. Between them is Pretty Little Liar. He's Relentless with a gilt-edged lead, gets a well-deserved moment in the sun, and he blitzed them today. Pretty Little Liar was second in the 10th running of the Hobbs America Derby.
And he was multiple graded stakes placed throughout his 3-year-old campaign, owned by the partnership of R.D. Hubbard, Johnny Cope, Tom and William Maher, also trained by Jason Olmstead and ridden by both Cody Jensen and Cody Smith. He's a Missouri bred by Sunflower Racing of Galena, Kansas. He's Relentless by One Famous Eagle out of the Strawfly Special Mare, This Dream's Flying. He is a racehorse, so you got the horse and you had the hope. Dale, who do you want to talk to? How about the tallest one there? He's making his way towards you right now.
We'll
Tom
go
Maher.
with Tom. Tom was there from the start at least, or pretty close to it. Maybe not at the exact start in the breeding shed. But anyway, you've had a good couple of years with this. He's knocked on a lot of the big money doors. He's always right there. He doesn't always get there, but he's only been out of the money twice. So right there is enough for a dream for most people. Tell us about the last 2 years around with He's Relentless.
Well, he started out this year at your track with a track record, his first out, 1 out. He's been consistent. He's a joy. It's wonderful to all the years that we've spent to be here and to be able to share it with good partners, trainer Jason Olmstead and Amber Blair. And it's actually more fun having a horse like this to share it with your partners, your trainer, and your friends, and your family.
Well, and it's a partnership are formed many times. Sometimes once the partnerships are formed, things don't go as well on the track. Sometimes they go okay. This one continues to get better and better as he gets older. We're going to continue to see him as a 4-year-old.
Yes, he'll be at your track. He'll start out there this spring. He'll be at Ruidoso for the All-American Gold Cup and hopefully something later in the year.
Tom, I like how you refer to Remington as my track. I wish I got some of the money out of that deal. He's Relentless, champion 3-year-old colt. Chris?
When you're having a drink tonight or later on throughout the weekend, be sure to visit with Tom Maher. He's got a story about his first trip to Rudo. So he made out there in a Corvette, and he took an outhouse and tipped it over and put wheels on it for a trailer to get him out there to Rudo. So talk to Tom. He'll fill in all the details. Brother William. There we go. All right, next up, I knew we got the chuckle out of there for some reason. 3-year-old filly contenders is who we need to work our way into now. And not the first, not the last, but she's definitely very qualified. She earned over $250,000. Foxy Moonflash, owned by Bobby Simmons. Lil Famous Dash, owned by Scarlet Hill Farm Incorporated. Quirky, owned by Dr. Edward C. Allred. Ray of Fire, owned by Abelardo Gallegos. Scooter Prize, who's owned by Ana Lilia Alvidrez. This Candy's Awesome, owned by the estate of Carl Peavy House and Peavy Quarter Horses. And Woody's All-Star, owned by Brooks, Rushing, and Lewis. And the champion 3-year-old filly, Foxy Moonflash. She was all alone in this photo, as you can see right there. Let's have a look at her in video, winning the New Mexico Fillies and Mares Championship.
Gates open, the Fillies and Mares Championship is underway. Foxy Moonflash with a flying start already has opened up a length lead. Penny snatching on the outside. On the inside comes Desert Delight Cash, followed by Sandy's Jessie and Get Down Bambi. Foxy Moonflash strutting her stuff though and powering clear to win the New Mexico Quarter Horse Fillies and Mares Championship with G.R. Carter Jr. aboard over Get Down Bambi, Penny snatching, and then SLR Jessie's Girl.
Jonathan Horowitz, track announcer, telling it all there, or at least a good bit of it. She was bred by Dosia and Norma Alvarez of Anthony, New Mexico. Sleepy Gilbert, the trainer. G.R. Carter was mentioned by Jonathan. Also Cody Jensen and Tanner Thedford were in the saddle there. Foxy Moonflash by First Moonflash out of the Rabbits Rainbow Mare, Diamonds and Rainbows. Dale?
Bobby Simmons joins me, Foxy Moonflash. You always want to have a good, solid year throughout the year. Sometimes things don't get going until the very end. You ended extremely strong on a winning streak carried into this year. Tell us about the last few months and how Foxy Moonflash ended up.
Well, Sleepy chose to hold her back and wait. She was really doing well, and he said, she'll tell us when she's ready. And so I trusted him, obviously, and he knew what he was doing.
So she's doing well, but you have to wait till she's ready, and you have to wait as well. What was that like for you?
Well, follow his advice. I think he's a little more seasoned than myself.
Okay, so you'll go with the guy that's won a few things around the block. Considering the finish, prospects for 2015?
We're going to let her tell us what she wants to do. She's at the Lazy right now being bred, and then we'll let her tell us if she wants to run again next year.
So Foxy Moonflash already starting his second career, may continue both careers into 2015. Chris?
Congratulations. I'll see some of these connections next week when I'm in Albuquerque for their Breeders' Award show as well. We'll move now to the 3-year-old gelding division. Foos Cash Sr., owned by World Champion Racing Stables, Presida, San Gregorio, Presida, Gregorio, J.R. de la Torre are the owners there. Hero Don Juan, who's owned by Richard Scott. Houdini, owned by Ellen Kennedy Racing, LLC. Moonist, owned by Ron Hartley. Rock You, who's owned by Reliance Ranches. Two Flash for You, owned by Jay Espinoza and J&M Laird. And Viva Mi Corazon, owned by Johnny Trotter and Burnett Ranches. Back when I was a kid, the expression was old-fashioned. Nowadays, they say old school. Either way, Ron Hartley and John Cooper are old school, and they win it with Moonist, the old school combination. There he is winning under the lights at Los Alamitos. Let's have a look at him winning the Golden State Derby.
And away they go in the Golden State Derby, and Moonist got off to a beautiful start to the extreme outside of Dimes and Nicks, and Don't Walk Peacefully. Down along the inside comes Kokomo Beach. Corona Sunset's also rallying on, but it's Moonist who's absolutely full of run, and the same track that Shared Belief won the Los Alamitos Derby last month. Moonist does it here in the Golden State Derby. Another terrific 3-year-old running at Los Alamitos.
Oh, thank you, Ed Burghardt. We heard plenty of him, but never too much, that's for sure. All right, we've got the connections there. and they've been to the winner's circle a number of times with their remarkable 4 derbies this calendar year. His only loss from 10 starts was a 4th place finish, and that was after he had already qualified to the Winter Derby at Los Alamitos. Cesar de Alba was able to ride him exclusively, and Dale Day gets to talk to Ron Hartley, and it's great to have him with us here for this award.
Ron, congratulations with Moonist. 4 Derby wins at Los Alamitos, never done before. The prior mark was 3 by Separatist, who you're connected with as well, with Moonist, obviously. Tell us about that record and what it's like to have such an achievement.
Well, as Don says every week, enjoy the ride. I enjoyed the ride. It was a great ride. And Moonist, he just did everything for us. But I'd sure like to acknowledge that the teamwork there, John Cooper, Cesar de Alba, the rider, and his groom, Tebow, they did an outstanding job, and I owe most of the credit to them.
Now, you've been around the racing game a long time in various capacities, racing as a steward and as official, the racetrack side, the training, or the other side of the track, so on and so forth. Have you ever been around a horse like this or been close to one that's as good as Moonist?
Well, I've seen a lot of good ones, you know. I think my favorite horse I saw was a horse called Easy Date. I thought she was a hell of a mare. And, of course, you know, Walk Through Fire and all the rest, the Vessels groups. I'm getting a little nervous. Darn. And I'd like to congratulate Chris for his outstanding calls in his recent, marriage. Very nice.
Thank you.
Real quick, Bruce Foot, slight injury to end the season. Not exactly how you want it to go, but things are okay. We'll see Moonist again, hopefully.
This coming weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so the run as a 4-year-old begins immediately. Congratulations, Ron.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ron. I expect my longevity to be as many decades as Ron has had with his success as well. I've got the pedigree, and now it's a matter if I just can hold up underneath the pressure. Okay, next up, Supreme Racehorse. Supreme Racehorse is a runner that earns the title of AQHA Supreme Racehorse. Is very rare, that's to be sure. And the newest member to the elite group of the AQHA Supreme Racehorse is CHARAL Kid. He's a homebred racing for Juan Jose Cordoba's Malinche Cattle Company. That's of San Antonio. The gelding is by Streakin' La Jolla, is the 104th horse to win this award. So not that many horses, obviously, have been able to make it to this status. CHARAL Kid made 50 starts throughout his career. He won 17 races and 13 stakes races, one of which was the Grade 1 2009 Dash for Cash Derby and the Refrigerator Handicap as well in 2012. Congratulations for the Supreme Racehorse CHARAL Kid. If we have any connections, please step forward that would represent CHARAL Kid. If not, we'll make sure we send that bronze off in the right direction. Again, let's have a look at him at
They're
the
off.
Star this year.
Prospect to the top, CHARAL Kid, JLS Mr. Big Time out well. Cheater going to have to do better. And for the final 350, CHARAL Kid, priceless feature. Prospect to the top, Mr. Truly Uno. Then JLS Mr. Big Time. It's CHARAL Kid, Mr. Truly Uno. CHARAL Kid, JLS Mr. Big Time. CHARAL Kid, CHARAL Kid. Mr. Truly Uno right there with him in the 16th Refrigerator Handicap.
And congratulations again to the connections there. We've already this evening awarded the Gordon Crone Award. Of course, that went to Mr. Fish. The counterpart of the Gordon Crone Award is the Millie Vessels Award, and this award recognizes an outstanding woman for her contributions to the American quarter horse industry in the last year. Millie Vessels, of course, a longtime horsewoman whose father-in-law established Los Alamitos Racecourse. She managed the track in the early days and later concentrated on the Vessels Stallion Farm down in Bonsall outside of San Diego. This year, the AQHA Racing Committee has selected Jamie Zamora as the Millie Vessels Award winner. Jamie is trained. Jamie, please come forward. Jamie has trained earners of more than $3 million in her career, along with her husband, jockey Chris Zamora, who won the All-American Futurity with Noblesse 6 Over the past 6 years, Jamie has dedicated herself to breast cancer survivors' efforts, raising tens of thousands of dollars in breast cancer research and treatment through her organizing the Pink Days that are held at racetracks in New Mexico. And we want to thank Jamie for all of her hard work, and for that you are rewarded in many ways, not the least of which, recipient of the Millie Vessels Award.
Jamie Zamora, congratulations. We have a pink line here. We did that just for you. You know that, right? Okay, you can step closer to me. I'm not going to bite. Tell us about the cause you got started with the racetracks in New Mexico and the Pink Days, and it was something that really has caught on, not just in New Mexico now. It's done at many tracks all around the country, including right here in Oklahoma at Remington Park.
I'm a breast cancer survivor, and thank you. I woke up one day and just decided I could do something. Let's try this. I went to management at several different New Mexico tracks, and they all jumped on board and said, run with it. And that's what I did. And it's snowballed. It's great. It's turned into.
Are you surprised at how big it started to get? I mean, I'm sure at first it was a lot of work and was slow going.
It's a lot of work, but it's very fulfilling, and I enjoy it, and we help whoever we can help.
And there's always a story, and I'm sure you've learned and found many of them.
Yes. Everyone has a story. Some are sad, some are happy, and you know, we just try and do the best we can for everyone.
Well, congratulations on this achievement and trying to find more happy stories in this cause. Jamie Zamora. Chris?
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Jamie. Congratulations and thank you for sure, Jamie Zamora. Executive Director of the AQHA, Don Treadway. He's served his time here on the stage for a while, of course, decades of service as well. He's going to yield now to Dr. Glenn Blodgett, who's going to make his way back up on the stage as we will continue on with our presentation. This will be the aged division, those horses which are not 2-year-olds or 3-year-olds. The aged stallion contender, well, Dash Master Jess, who's owned by Cesar Rosales is the first name. Jake Gold BR, owned by Clodaldo Miranda. Jess 'Cause I Can, owned by Jason Giles, Casey Willis, Wes Giles. Separate Interest, I should say, apologize, owned by Lila Kessinger. TF Featured Effort, owned by Hazel Howlett and Juliet Torres. And that's it. And our champion age stallion of 2014 is Just 'Cause I Can. Just 'Cause I Can won the Grade 2 Bank of America Sunland Championship Challenge and ran second in the Grade 1 All-American Gold Cup. We're going to have a look at that race right now.
Running awkward start for Jody Pop Zoomer. It was a fast break for Lano Cartel and zooming away, then Just 'Cause I Can. To the inside, Feature Hero is running good, and DM Streaking Through Fire. Handsome Jack Flash has shifted to the far side, but is well back. Here comes DM Streaking Through Fire, then it's Lano Cartel and zooming away. DM Streaking Through Fire wins the All-American Gold Cup. Then Just 'Cause I Can in a photo with Lano Cartel and zooming away.
Connections of Just 'Cause I Can, please come forward. He finished second in that race. He was also in the Grade 3 Mr. Jetmore Handicap. He was second along with the Grade 3 High Easter Jet Handicap as well. Connections of Just 'Cause I Can not here with us this evening. Do want to mention that he is a homebred of Darian Berthus, Utah bred, foaled in 2009 by Feature Mr. Jess out of the Stoley mare in Covenant Confirmer. Let's go to the champion aged mare division now. And the first mare will be Allie's Jumpin', who's owned by Pedro Carrillo. Next, Nellie Delaney, owned by Garvin Kelly and Nancy Yearsley. Patriots Toast, Ana Lilia Alvidrez is the owner. Significant Heart, owned by Abigail Kawananakoa. Stoley Angel, Garland Shelton is the owner of Stoley Angel. And finally, Zoomin' Away, who's owned by the 21 Partnership. And the champion aged mare, Significant Heart. Significant Heart in the Abigail Kawananakoa colors that you can see right there. Paul Jones coming forward to represent Princess Abigail. She did win the Grade 1 Millie Vessels at Los Alamitos, along with the Grade 3 Princess Stakes and the Las Damas. Let's see her in action.
Hearts running a huge one from down along the inside. Matabari, the annex of Nellie Delaney, took it stall. Significant Heart's going to try to pull off a big upset, and Significant Heart reaches out for the finish line just in front of Matabari in a tight photo for second with check and fetch back and forth.
and she was bred in California by La Felice Montana Ranch by Corona Cartel out of the Mr. Jess Perry mare, Jess Significant. Dale?
Paul Jones joins us. Significant Heart, one of your charges. What's it like to work with this champion age mare now?
Well, she's just a really good mare, and it's kind of a thrill to have this mare in the barn. I mean, she just does everything right. She just bombs away from the gates and just gives it her all every time.
Nice Grade 1 win towards the end of the year. She's already been active this season.
Yeah, she has, and she's out right now. She's going to be bred to, I think, to Corona Cartel. Hopefully she'll have some good babies coming up.
Paul Jones, one of many champions in your fold over the years. Congratulations. Significant Heart. Oh, go ahead.
That was a mistake. First down dash.
Okay.
That sounded a lot
She's by
better.
Corona Cartel.
Somehow PETA would get involved if that happened. Thanks for that important clarification. All right, moving on. AQHA aged gelding contenders, and we'll begin with a toss-up owned by James Sills and Abel Flores. Bon Accord by that combination of Garvin Kelly, Nancy Earsley, and toss-in Vinewood Farms as well. DM Streaking Through Fire, Richard Sturdivant, Terry Wooten, and Joe David Yates. Farniente, Vessel Stallion Farms is the owner, along with Atwood Ranches. And JRC Callis First, owned by Dana and Brian Stroud. The old-timer Llano Cartel, owned by Wade Helton, Pampa, Texas. Slew of Success, Mary Passmore Kirby, and Lloyd Yother, the owners. And finally, Stimulus, who's owned by Jerry Wyndham. Those were the contenders for the champion-aged gelding. And the champion-aged gelding is JRC Callis First. There you can see him. And we've got an opportunity to see him in a blanket finish in the championship at Sunland.
And runners away. Good start for Rawhide Legend towards the outside. I Know He Knows I Know off to a good start. First Spectacular's right there. Middle of the racetrack, JRC Collis First moving in full stride now as they charge down the stretch. Racing one off the rail. I Know He Knows I Know. First Spectacular's at the inside. Middle of the racetrack, JRC Collis First. Running another big one. JRC Collis First. Scores at the TQHA 550.
And that wasn't the only one he won throughout the course of the year. He won 8 times of 10 lifetime starts, a multiple stakes winner there, owned by Dana and Brian Stroud. Brian Stroud is the trainer, bred by J.R. Cass in Texas by Winners Award out of the Dirty Coup mare in Kalamisi and Dale. Might not be your first question, but I'd like to offer one from the field. Is it Callas or Callas? Let's get that pronunciation, please.
He's been called both ways. I call him Callis.
We'll go with Callis then. That's what we'll go with. 7 straight wins at the end of the year. Versatile runner. The race we just showed, 550 yards, can go 550, can shorten up. It's tried longer. What's it like to have a horse that can move around on the distances for you?
Oh, it's great to have one. He prefers to go 440 or 550, but he has proven he can run 400. It just depends on how he gets away.
Now, primarily in Texas, very dominant, but you stretched out and went across state lines into New Mexico. What made that decision for you at the end of the year?
Well, we'd wanted to go there, and we nominated to go there, but we scratched in. We didn't have enough money earned going in, but there was a horse that scratched, and we got a late notification to come on a short notice one day prior to the race.
All right, JRC Callis First, champion, Brian Stroud, congratulations.
Got a pair of champions to award here. Next up, as we speak to the Supreme Champion, and the title requires a horse to have raced and achieved a speed index of at least 90 and then do that twice. Also, earn at least 40 points in the halter and performance classes and 5 or more AQHA shows, including 2 Grand Champion titles. A lot to ask for of a former racehorse who moves on into the show division. Tonight, we honor 2 horses of that rarest of recognitions, if you will. The first is Got a Good Habit, who becomes the 50th American quarter horse in history to receive this title. There you can see Got a Good Habit in the images there, winning on the racetrack and, of course, out there in the show division as well. Began the show career in 2005, was an AQHA champion in 2010, earned 14 Grand Championships and 18 Reserve Grand Championships. He's been shown in halter, performance halter, heading, and hunter under saddle. This guy can do it all. If the connections are here with us, please, have Got a Good Habit, please come forward to the stage. Our second champion, supreme champion that we want to recognize is I'm a Regal Choice. He was bred by Eduardo Cornelio Caballero of Mexico and is owned by Michael Smith of Berwick, Louisiana. This horse won 3 of 12 races out there on the racetrack, and then he headed to the show pen where he earned points in performance, halter stallions, heading, and also jumping as well. I'm a Regal Choice completed his training under the guidance of AQHA professional horseman and team wrangler member Bobby Lewis and AQHA professional horseman Jerry Erickson. So he's been in some good hands. Congratulations to I'm a Regal Choice. You people tell me this thing's been sticking out of my ear all night long. Can we start the show over, please? All right. Let's see. From the Grand Champions, we're going to move on to the Champion Breeder. And before we commence to the Horseman Awards, we want to once again thank the individuals of the Executive Committee who've been helping out tonight. Dr. Blodgett will now yield to Johnny Trotter, AQHA president, who'll come on for our presentation as well. As that takes place, just a little heads up that our equine champions, AQHA champion breeder, owner, and trainer and jockey awards are determined by a written ballot of the champions selection subcommittee. The ballot consists of top-ranked individuals with the best overall placing according to money earned, races won, and graded stakes performance. We'll take a look now at the ballot for the 2014 AQHA Champion Breeder. This is in alphabetical order. Mike Abraham with the earnings of just over $1 million for the runners of Buffalo Head. Anselmo Aguilar, owned by Foose Cash Jr., who did win the Los Alamitos Super Derby. Dr. Edward C. Allred, 6 horses win in Open Graded Stakes Company. Dr. Steve Burns, whose star was Rock U throughout the year. Bobby Cox with, everybody now, WAHOO! Also, Double Bar S Ranch, earnings of over $600,000. MJ Farms, Mac and Janice runners, over $1.4 million. Michael Poles runners earned over $700,000. The Bill Price bred horses, over $1 million. Witona Stanley had 7 stakes winners. Her breds did go on to get to the winner's circle in stakes competition 7 times. P.K. Thomas with J.M. Miracle, of course, winner of the All-American Futurity. Vessel's Stallion Farm bred 5 stakes winners this year. And Jerry Wyndham, his earners, the horses he bred, earned over $1.5 million. Now, the 10th time AQHA champion breeder, Dr. Edward C. Allred, has won this award. The Hall of Fame trainer himself, a leading breeder in both wins and money earned in 2014. Doc Allred bred horses have class. We all know that for sure. And the runners he bred won an 18% clip throughout the course of the year. 18% winners, $3.7 million in earnings. His Grade 1 winners include He Looks Hot, Quirky, and restricted Grade 1 winner Once Over. Dr. Edward C. Allred has done it again for Champion Breeder. And we do have video to go to.
And away they go on the Southern California Derby and Ziegfeld Follies. Trace Piscato came away well. Also right there down the middle part of the track comes Quirky on the far outside trying to close in, as well as Jiffy James, as Quirky has his mind on running, and so does Trace Piscato down along the inside, but it's Quirky shifting directions, going to crush the field. Quirky, super impressive. Tight photo between Trace Piscato and Dynasty of Habits for second. Looked like Jiffy James got fourth, but it's Quirky, the runaway winner here of the Southern California Derby, in good time.
And when the FedEx man leaves Amarillo with the box going to Catella, they know it's going to Los Alamitos' Dr. Edward Allred. There you can see what a terrific campaign he had once more here in 2014. Dr. Edward C. Allred, champion breeder. Breeders and then the owners. So now let's recognize the owners as well. And once again, alphabetically, Dr. Allred, his horses earned over $2 million in 2014. Ana Lilia Alvidrez, her horses earned over $533,000. Lots of wins for Anjora Corporation this year, in 23 wins in 2014, I should say. Pedro Carrillo had Ali's Jumpin' as his stable star. Gerald DeWitt, earnings of over $400,000. Tony Doty, earnings of over $500,000 for Tony. Ellen Kennedy Racing, of course, their star Houdini, who won the Rainbow Derby. Espinoza and Laird for Two Flash for You, winner of the All-American Derby. Tyler Graham, In Condé Nast, Love the Way You Lie, Kiss My Hocks, a pair of stakes winners there. Wade Helton, Lano Cartel. JM Racing and Farm, their star, JM Miracle, All-American Futurity winner. Abigail Kawana Nakoa, of course, Significant Heart, and also Native T-Rose was one of her stakes winners. Ranchero El Cabresto Incorporated, whose horses earned over $700,000 this year. Reliance Ranches, Rock You was their star, winner of the Ruidoso Derby. Joan Rood, what about this 1%? 24 wins of 101 starts. That's a 24% win rate, or just a bit less. S. Quarter K LLC, he's a dash of fire. David Valdez, his horses earned over $700,000. And finally, Valeriano Racing Stables with a nice win rate as well. 25 wins with just over 100 starts there. So that was the division for champion owner in the 2014 AQHA champion owners. 2 guys and 3 horses, Tyler Graham and Condé Nast, become the sports champion owners. 2 guys, 3 horses, and a pretty good percentage of luck as well for the winning equation of quality over quantity for sure. Their horses made a combined 15 starts and 8 wins that earned over $1 million. And as they make their way towards Dale Day, we're going to solve this once and for all, maybe. The question that is prevailing after we see this video. Video first. Here's a look at one of their stars.
They're off in the Heritage Place Futurity. Massive congestion to the inside. Away sharply. Love the Way You Lie. Countable A running second. A political pack right there. BV Traveling Soldier being asked and coming on now. Outside as well. Not available in stores. It is still Love the Way You Lie. Here's BV Traveling Soldier and Countable A as they fire to the line. It's close in the Heritage Place Futurity. BV Traveling Soldier had to make up a lot of ground. It was nose to nose inside Countable A. And Love the Way You Lie.
And it was Love the Way You Lie that gets the win. Tyler Graham is one of the owners, and the question is it Conda or Condé Nast? And maybe we can go straight to the horse's mouth, if you will. The man in the black hat.
All right. Which way is it?
Condé.
Condé. What did you say, Chris?
I've been swaying in the breeze.
Okay, Condé. All right. Condé with an A. That's fine. We'll start, Tyler, what we did you last time.
With an E.
Congratulations, first of all. Kiss My Hocks on it earlier tonight as a champion. Now you guys champion owners. Thanks in part to his efforts.
Yes, unbelievable. I just want to thank Tyler for being the best partner a person can ever have. I was started in this business in 2000, and it's just a shame that I didn't meet him when he was about 15 years old. Maybe we would have had better luck, you know. But unbelievable.
You just waited for him to get a little old enough to vote, I guess?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, well, that's fair enough. Tyler, congrats. The 2 of you had a good run with a few runners this year, and last year, I should say, especially early on. Things waned a little bit towards the very end of the season, but pretty solid 2014.
Yes, sir. I think we won 3 graded races in 6 weeks or something like that, and as the first 2 horses we've ever owned together, both graded stakes winners, so it was, you couldn't start a partnership any better, and I have the same thing to say about Condé. He's been probably the best partner I've ever had. It's been just a phenomenal year, and we're looking forward to a long partnership. So
the first 2 you own together are Grade 1 winners. One of them's a champion. How do you top that?
Yeah, it's going to be hard, but I guarantee you both of us, we're going to try.
Well, this weekend's a good place to start and try to find new talent as well. Congratulations, champion owners, Condé Nast, Tyler Graham.
Thank you. Is it Maze or Maze? Which one is it? All right, Connie, there it is. Spelled with an A, sounds like an E. Each year, AQHA recognizes one of the best with an award named after one of the best, and that, of course, the legendary Blaine Schroneveld. This Blaine Schroneveld champion trainer contenders this year. We'll start with Juan Aleman, who trained both Bon Accord and Nellie Delaney. Umberto Bullock, trainer of JM Miracle. Kevin Broussard, whose horses earned over $700,000. Gene Burden, who trained Boy George to the West Texas Futurity. Clint Crawford, whose horses earned over $1.3 million this year. Mike Joyner, trainer of DM Streakin' Through Fire, winner of the All-American Gold Cup. Paul Jones, who had 14 stakes winners this year. Judd Curl, who trained Lil Famous Dash and Mr. Bug, a pair of his stakes winners. Toby Keaton, of course, Love the Way You Lie, Kiss My Hocks, and let's not forget about Jody Pop Zoomer as well. Eloy Navarro, Foose Cash Jr. was his stakes winner. Kenny Roberts, whose horses earned over $2 million down South Louisiana way. Carlos Salvador, earners of over $700,000. Casey Willis, 53 wins of 209 starts. That's a good win percentage as well. Those are the top 10 of the contenders. Who says 13 isn't a lucky number? Paul Jones has now won the Champion Trainer Award a record 13 consecutive years. Of course, the AQHA Annual Trainer title is named after Blaine Schronevelt, a late Hall of Fame trainer, won the Championship Trainer title on 12 occasions. So a significant win here for Paul Jones, whose runners racked up over $3.3 million.
And away they go on the PCQHRA Breeders' Futurity. Old Girl got off to a good start. A Goddess Through Fire is running on. Here's BF Farm Boss is trying to lug inward, kicking your can, running a strong race on the far outside. But a Goddess Through Fire now catches the eye, and so does BF Farm Boss. Nose and nose. BF Farm Boss noses out a Goddess Through Fire. Old Girl running third. Kicking your can will be in a photo with Run By You. But BF Farm Boss surges from the 8th pole to the wire and catches a Goddess Through Fire to win the PCQHRA Breeders' Futurity.
Dale, Paul, Marin.
She's backing away. Okay, you've done this a few years. You want to talk tonight? Oh, gosh, no. Okay. All right, Paul, I can just do this. Go.
Okay.
We've got this down. Come on, this has happened too many years in a row.
Okay, well, you know, it doesn't, I don't know what to say. It's just as exciting the 13th time as it is the first time. We were a little nervous tonight. I've got a good team of people. I owe a lot of credit to them, but you know, I pretty much say that every year. So this year I'm going to say, you know, it's all the good horses, and it's all the good owners that send me them good horses. Without the good horses, we couldn't do it. And with the support of my wife, I better say that this year, and my family. So it was really nice. Thank you.
Now, Chris mentioned the 14 stakes winners. Any one or two of those stand out above the others? They're all good to be stakes winners, but there's always something special about one or two, it seems like.
Well, there always is. You know, this year I thought BF Farm Boss was really a good stakes win when we won the Breeders' Fraternity, and then he come back and run second in the 2 million. Really ran a good race. He was probably one of my top horses this year.
All right, so 13. It's a big number by itself. To do it 13 times in a row, I mean, I think I've asked you this every year I've done this. Does it sink in how many times in a row? I mean, does it ever get old?
No, it never gets old, and it never will. You know, it's getting harder and harder every year. I can tell you that. There's a lot of good trainers out there and a lot of good horses, and you know, I've got a lot of respect for the other trainers. They've all done a good job too.
13's a big number. It's a lucky number. It's a good number. Paul Jones, Blaine Schronevelt, champion trainer.
And you can still see it comes from the heart, and that's good to see. Maybe with the title being named the Blaine Schronevelt tugs at the heart a little bit as well. I'm sure it does everyone here in this room. From the Blaine Schronevelt Champion Trainer Award, we will go to the 2014 AQHA Champion Jockey Contenders, of which we have 10. David Alvarez, his mounts earned over $1.8 million. Sergio Becerra, his amounts earned over $2 million. Champion jockey G.R. Carter, whose mounts earned over $3 million. Jody Pop Zoomer was his stakes winner throughout the year. Cesar de Alba, who rode Moonist, Bon Accord, and Significant Heart. Larry Gamez, his mounts earned $2.4 million. John Hamilton, who rode a bunch of winners, 161 wins and earnings of over $2 million. Carlos Huerta, earnings just a shade less than $2 million, 1.9. Cody Jensen, his mounts earned over $2.8 million. Cruz Mendez, the regular rider for HEZA DASHA Fire, over $2 million. Ricky Ramirez, also another rider whose mounts earned over $2 million. Young jockey Omar Reyes rode the old-timer Llano Cartel to a Leo Stakes victory. Ramon Sanchez with earnings of over $3 million. Augustine Silva, over $1.1 million, and Luis Vivanco, whose mount was Kiss My Hocks in the Sam Houston Futurity. Those are the contenders for the champion jockey. All the King's horses and all the King's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again, but the orthopedic surgeons and the good horses sure did. You know what I'm talking about. 10-time winner of the Humpty Dumpty Award, jockey Cody Jensen has now won his second win for AQHA champion jockey. And let's go to the video of Cody down and riding.
Running in the Rainbow Derby, a good break for them all. Hurled on one, came away fast with Rock You. Far side, Houdini, this dude can fly. Back at the rail is He's Relentless and Ray of Fire. And Ray of Fire, He's Relentless. Hurled on one, far side, Houdini. Houdini to the outside, to the rail, He's Relentless. Houdini outside, Houdini's gonna win. Houdini wins the Rainbow Derby. Followed up by a photo between He's Relentless and Hurled on one.
Jockey Cody Jensen won he won 52 races this year. I don't think his wife Amy saw many of them because her eyes were always, hands were in front of her eyes there, fearing the worst. Keep in mind that Cody Jensen did win the 2014 Sam Thompson Memorial Award, an honor given to a jockey for his peers for exceptional personal character and behavior on and off the racetrack. And there goes Cody Jensen because he definitely wears it well. He's got it all. He's got all the hardware, which includes screws, plates, and bronzes.
Some of the hardware more meaningful than the others. Cody, congratulations. Last year when we did this, we talked about how you've had such a nice, successful, long career, but had not won this award. Now you've won it 2 years in a row.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of crazy, you know, going through 2 surgeries this year, you know, I really didn't think this was possible to miss that much time, and, you know, but I've had really good, first I'd like to thank my owners, trainers, and agents, you know, and something like that, but there's a couple of people I'd really, really like to thank, you know, and first and foremost is Toby Keaton, Condi Mays, and Tyler Graham. You know, when I was coming back from my broken wrist, I hadn't even rode a race, and they not only handed me the keys to the Heritage winner, but also the Ruidoso winner without hesitation. And somebody else I'd really like to thank is Jason Olmstead. You know, I was 5 days after surgery, and that cat never even hesitated. He just threw me right on that horse. He didn't even think about it. He had total confidence in me. But, you know, who I'd really like to thank, you know, that really made this possible over the last couple of years is my doctor, Dr. Brian Levins. Put me back together again like he has, and but to have the confidence in me to say, you know, I'm like, Doc, you know, I can make it back in 5 days. And he's like, you know what? You can make it back in 5 days. And a lot of doctors wouldn't be able to do that, but for him to understand what it is and what we go through and what we can and can't do, that's really been huge to me. And then this gal right here to put up with all the heartaches and broken bones and being hired and fired in the same day, you know, and keep it all together. You know, she's my rock, and I couldn't do it without her.
Well, you need to have some of that because with the injuries, I'm sure it's just heart-wrenching for both of you. You experience it. You have to watch it. But you came up with a very disturbing trend. Get hurt, come back, ride a horse that gets named champion. You want to keep that up?
No, you know. I was telling them earlier, I says, you know, a lot of people, their goals for the year is like, okay, I want to find a good 2-year-old. I want to win a grade 1. I want to. This year, my goal is to just stay out of surgery. That is the goal on the year, just stay out of surgery.
Stay out of the surgery. You'll probably ride a few more horses and get a few more winners and possibly some really nice ones. You rode a nice set of champions tonight. Many of these champions tonight you've been on.
Yeah, you know what, it was a tremendous year, you know, even though I've been hurt a couple times this year and missed a lot of time. It's a lot of confidence in these people that, you know, they throw a lot of confidence my way and say, you know what, let's throw him back on. You know, a lot of people kind of step back and say, let's see what he can do, and some of these guys step right up to the plate and say, hey, put him back on.
Cody Jensen back on again 2 times in a row now, champion jockey. Congratulations.
Watch your step, be careful. Okay, this is always a fun one to announce. It is the Racing Council Award. Just a little background about it. The Racing Council Special Recognition Award honors a lifetime of service and dedication to the development, promotion, and enhancement of American quarter horse racing, whereby the Gordon Crone or the Millie Vessels hones in on one specific year. This is a lifetime. And there's no question this man has dedicated his lifetime, the recipient of the 2014 AQHA Racing Council Special Recognition Award, his old golden pipes himself, Keith Babb of Monroe, Louisiana. No one needs to tell him how to find the stage. 40-year career. He's brought under the gavel some of the greats of the game, of course, First Down Dash and Mr. JESS Barrier, some that he sold. He sold A Tempting Dash for $1.7 million, just going back to 2013. He's already received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Louisiana Quarter Horse Breeders Association. He is a member of the National Auctioneers Hall of Fame. Once more, please join me in congratulating the AQHA Special Recognition Award recipient, Keith Babb.
Your congratulations. Tell us a little bit about the award and what this means to you after such a stellar career.
I had no idea this was even going to take place, and was shocked when I looked in the catalog here. But thank you so much, and I want to say that I'm glad Cody Jensen's not an auctioneer. I wouldn't have a job probably. But anyway, look, my life has been so blessed by the American quarter horse, and I want to give credit to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for helping me. I prayed for many years to become a professional and successful in this career, and I've met so many wonderful people, so many great horses. I don't even know many of them. Blaine Swanevelt and I had dinner one night, and he was telling about this great horse, and I said, I don't remember him. He said, you should. You sold him in my sale. You know, Blaine had a memory that most of us don't have. But anyway, I've worked for so many great people, and I'm just so grateful to have been in this business. God has blessed me so much. Now, someone said, why do you want to retire? I'll be 71 pretty soon. And I don't want anyone to say, I wish that old man had quit a couple of years ago. And 71 is not that old, but some people look at it as it is, 71, you know. Oh, he's an old guy. But if you die at 71, they say, oh, my gosh, he was only 71, you know. So it's relevant. But anyway, I've been in this business 40 years. God's blessed me, and I want to thank all of you so much. I hope I've made some of you some money, got a little more money for some of your horses than you thought I should, or you should, and it's just been wonderful. Jerry, I've met so many great people, and I'll leave some of them out, but I'm a big game hunter. Some of you heard that I was going back to Rio Dosa. Dee invited me to come back, and I said, well, I will, but I didn't know Labor Day was a week later, and I've already got a hunt booked in Alaska for grizzly and moose, and so I let him know, and he said, go on, enjoy your hunt, and have a good time. So that's what I'm going to do.
Well, you're not going to go anywhere just yet, Keith, because save some of it for a little later here. This is a saddle that on the back says Colonel Babb, so I guess that's going to go to you. It was brought forth by the Heritage Place, of course, Charlie Graham, Jeff Tebow, Spence Kidney. And I want to read a letter. This is a letter that Dr. Charlie Graham did. Keith, this letter comes to you from Dr. Charlie Graham, and I want to read it so everybody can hear it. Dear Keith, on behalf of myself, the owners and staff of Heritage Place, I want to say thank you for 36 years of dedication and service to not only Heritage Place, but to the quarter horse industry. The professionalism and class that you've brought to the forefront of business is undeniable. I'm so proud of the longevity of your association with Heritage Place. I do believe the quarter horse racing industry is a better place due to the contribution of time and talent that you have provided the industry. I wish you the best of health and happiness as you embark on a much-deserved retirement, and I hope that you will find time to make regular appearances at Heritage Place in the years to come. I'm honored to know that you refer to Heritage Place as your house, and I sincerely look forward to you being here to witness the continuation of our many years of hard work. Your contribution is invaluable, so again, on behalf of all of us here at Heritage Place, thank you. Respectfully, Dr. Charles Graham, DVM, President, right here, Keith Babb. And I just want, before we wrap things up altogether, anybody here that has come to Heritage Place or Rudos or whatever and has stepped out of their vehicle and has made way towards the sale pavilion and has heard those golden pipes. I want you to all raise your hand if that has made your heart race and the hope has come to overfill you. And while your hands are still up,
I am actually going to give up the microphone to Keith Babb.
Keith, one more time.
Thank
What
you
do you
so
do
much.
when everybody's hands are up in the air?
And
What do you
ladies
say?
and gentlemen, you've been such a wonderful group, and I want to commend Dr. Graham, the late Gentry brothers, the late Bob Moore, and all the people. Wayne Lucas was involved, and Johnny Jones, and others, in the foresight to develop the greatest place in the world to sell America's horse, the American Quarter Horse, Heritage Place. It's a wonderful place, and it's the greatest place that I've worked in all the 40 years I've been selling horses, and I want to give them a great round of applause for having the foresight to build this great facility. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Keith. We'll get that final sold out of him at some auction when he steps up later on down the road. Hey, we still have some divisional champions to mention. And again, divisional champions based by age. So we've got to determine a champion 2-year-old, 3-year-old, aged horse, and of course the world champion. As we do this, you folks know the drill because you've been up here on stage already. As you hear your name announced, please make your way towards the stage. As I also mentioned, champion 2-year-old, 3-year-old, age division. So please help me in congratulating the 2014 champion 2-year-old, Kiss My Hocks. There he is, Kiss My Hocks. And here he is, early on in the year, in his first Futurity win, the Sam Houston Futurity.
And runners away. Good start for Kiss My Hocks at the inside. Broke away alertly. 6s down in the chase. Jet and Cosmos in the mix as well. On Lake Cosmo traffic the outside. To the finish they come. Kiss My Hocks has done it again. Kiss My Hocks victorious in the Sam Houston Futurity.
There he goes, our champion 2-year-old Kiss My Hocks. So you know where to line up on the pink line. Or everybody just scooch on over. We got more coming here, Johnny. All right, now, find your nice little place on the stage, folks, because you're going to have to share it, follow tray here. Everybody, just we're going to sort of group you together. Now we've got the champion 3-year-old. And our champion 3-year-old, old school again, Moonist. Come on forward. Ron Hartley. Mr. and Mrs. Hartley, come forward. We're going to group all of these entities together. Keep them fighting distance away from each other. And we do have video of Moonist winning another of his Derby winners this year. 4 Derby wins for Moonist.
And away they go in the El Primero Delano Derby, and a perfect start for the favored Moonist. Still Just Me also came away well. Here's Firecliff to the extreme outside. Smithy's now trying to rally on as well in pursuit. Yacht Clubber down along the inside, and suddenly Don't Walk Peacefully is coming in as well as Moonist to the extreme outside comes Firecliff, but it's Moonist and Cesar Dialba to win the El Primero Delano Derby. Firecliff running second, Don't Walk Peacefully, Smithy, and Still Just Me third, fourth, and fifth, as Moonist now makes his 7 wins and 14 starts, taking the El Primero Delano Derby.
All right, congratulations. Champion 3-year-old is Moonist. We're going to find the right spot for the Hartleys here, and then we're going to find the right spot for our aged champion of 2014, and well, we'll have Dana and Brian Stroud of J.R. Callis First join us up here once more again. J.R. Callis First, again, he won a number of stakes races. We're going to have him see him winning, I should say, the Grade 1 refrigerator at Lone Star.
They're off. Rockin' Disco, Loves Brown Sugar got out well. Here comes FDD going grand. Pure D Spit up the insides firing big. And Rocket Air's in there, so something like this. Pure D Spit finds the front. It's Pure D Spit. Here's JRC Callis First, absolutely flying. Pure D Spit, JRC Callis First. JRC Callis First wins the Grade 1 refrigerator.
Congratulations. 3-year-old champion, age champion horse. When we asked him earlier, Callis, I was thinking, okay, Callis like Dallas, so I just got stuck on the JR Callis. It's JRC Callis first, and I'll get that right. So we've got our 3 divisions here, the age division, the 3-year-old division, and the 2-year-old connections right now. And unless somebody says, no, don't do it, I'm going to announce the world champion at this time. Are we good to go here? All right, here we go. I think I've got the name down now. JRC Callis First is the world champion quarter horse of 2014. You don't have to hold back those tears. Let them roll. They're coming for the good reason. And folks, if you just give the courtesy to these champion winners before everybody starts leaving, just hang on and let's have some final remarks from the Happy Connections. Dale?
Brian and Dana Stroud, congratulations. Dana, I thought you were going to fall back into the plant there for a second. Tell us what you're feeling right now.
I can't even explain it. It's just amazing. I never thought when we bought this horse this was going to happen. He's just wonderful.
Both of you surprised?
Yes, sir, really. Yeah, he turned out to be this good of a horse. I thought he was a nice horse. I trained him for another client last year, and he wanted to get rid of him, and I tried to talk some of my other clients into buying him. Nobody wanted to give the price that he wanted, so the credit goes to her. She sold a paint horse that she loved, and that's what paid for him, so she deserves the credit for us owning him.
Wheeling and dealing a little bit to keep it in the family, keep this horse with you, that turned out to be a smart move on your part.
Yes, it did. Very much so. My paint horse would have never made me this kind of money.
But you know what? You probably go back and get him now.
No.
Okay, all right. Well, congratulations, JRC Callis First, Brian and Dana Stroud, world champion.
From the ribbons to the bronze here. Well, another year has come and gone, 2014. The connections obviously have been awarded. We've got another year out in front of us. We do want to thank all of the members of the Champions Selection Committee and Subcommittee, naturally Heritage Place, for allowing us to have this in their own backyard. Of course, the sale does go on for the next few days. We want to thank all of the driving force behind the American quarter horse industry. Dale Day, of course, for helping out, the folks in the back with TV in the back as well. And thank you all for coming, showing your class and showing your appreciation, your blood, sweat, and tears. You might not have made it up here to the stage, but as Tom Maher said, yep, you got to have horse, but you got to have hope. And we hope that you will have that hope to get to the winner's circle and become a champion at some time. Thank you again. That does it for the 2014 AQHA Champions Show. All the best and drive home safely. You want to pod me up? Don't forget, there is a reception that is ongoing right now just outside.